Hi there, it's Tamara Doors, your Sacramento real estate professional and your Sacramento real estate professor. And today I want to talk about home inspections. I know I've done videos on them before and I know I will do videos on them again, but this one here is specifically for sellers. And I want to have a really important talk with you because at the end of the day, the request for repairs and how you respond to the request for repairs can make or break the deal. Really important. So let's say you've got your home in escrow. You've got your price, maybe you're kind of halfway in between because sometimes sellers will be like, well, I gave them a good deal, and now they have the audacity to ask me to fix all these things. These things aren't even wrong with my home. I want to stop you right there. You have to remember that when you get your buyer's request for repairs, those buyers who are spending a lot of money on your home, they're probably taking their entire savings. Maybe they're borrowing, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's a big deal for them too. I know it's your money and your equity and your home. So I see both sides of it because I work with both buyers and sellers. A little more often with sellers, but the point being that there are two sides. There are two sides to a real estate transaction. So when the buyers hire a home inspector, the home inspector is comparing your home with a brand new build. Like, there's gonna be wear and tear. My goodness, I just sold a house that was like 65 years old. There's gonna be wear and tear. It's normal, it's to be expected. But here's what you've gotta keep in mind. And I tell this to both buyers and sellers. That home inspection is gonna be really big because that's the inspector's job. The inspector's job is pretty much, here's $700. Find everything you can go wrong with this house. Tell me every little hiccup, every little potential problem. So the inspectors go in with that attitude. They're trying to find things. Now, do they always find things that are wrong? Sometimes. Do they sometimes find things that aren't wrong? Sometimes. I had a home inspector recently tell me on one of my listings that it needed a lot more work, and it didn't. So I'm not opposed to getting a second opinion, but that's a whole different conversation. What I want you to understand is those home inspectors go into that home, your home seller, your home, to decide what could possibly go wrong with this house, what is not completely 100% like up to par brand new. That's really going to be hard shoes to fill, right? So then the buyer, who's already kind of stressed out because they're spending all this money and making a lifetime investment, and probably if it's a first-time buy, they're so nervous, and then they get this report that really, in their interpretation, it looks like the house is crumbling down around them. So they're freaked out. Now, if they have a skilled, experienced agent, the agent would have already prepared them and told them, let's not freak out about the home inspection. We're going to take it one line item at a time. And I will tell you based on my experience, and you're more than welcome to have a contractor or someone else look at it and see. But at the end of the day, usually it's somewhere in between. So when the buyers are getting all freaked out because the inspection makes it look like, oh my gosh, the house is falling apart. Meanwhile, when they're asking the sellers to look at the home inspection and, make an ungodly amount of repairs, the seller, who already feels like they're giving the buyer a really good deal, they see this big home inspection report and they're like, are you kidding me? That's not wrong with my house. They didn't, I remember one time a home inspector put that the sink in the bar, there was a wet bar, that the sink didn't stop running. The guy didn't turn it off. Like literally, he didn't turn it off. And he said it was running. They are not gods. They are not beyond mistake. They make errors. I catch them in errors all the time. Again, different conversation. So when you are the seller and you already feel like you've compromised a lot, and now all of a sudden you get this big home inspection report and they're asking you for $10,000, you can fly off the handle. Part of my job is to absorb the fear and the resentment and the explosiveness because I don't want my sellers and buyers to explode, number one. Number two, I'm very skilled at this, so I understand it. Number three, I'm never going to try to talk you into something or out of something. But I do know for a scientific fact that you will make your best decisions, your most creative options when you are in a calm state. So if you're really upset at the buyer's audacity for asking for all of this because the home inspector said all of this is wrong, the first thing you've got to do is calm down. And I don't mean that condescendingly at all. I'm not being patronizing at all. I'm telling you that a portion of your brain stops working when you're stressed out. That's just a fact, okay? So if your agent has done a good job of warning you, you're going to get a big home inspection, and it's not unusual that the buyers ask for more than really should be fair, in my opinion. So we're prepared for it. A good agent will tell the sellers that, and a good agent will tell the buyers that. So there's no surprises. The worst thing at all in a real estate transaction, in my experience, are surprises. Not happy surprises. Happy surprises are welcomed. It's the unhappy surprises, the shocking surprises, the are you kidding me surprises that people tend to fly off the handle. So assuming, if I were your agent, I've already prepared you, this is what's going to happen, but don't freak out because we will negotiate. Just because they ask for $10,000 or $15,000, you don't have to give it to them. You don't have to give them a penny if you don't want to. And I will be on your side 100%. But I also will be the voice of reason. So we would go through the home inspection together. And I would look, one of the things I always ask my sellers is, let's look at this with an honest eye. Let's look at what the inspector says is a health hazard. Okay, like if two wires are not connected together, or for example, I just had one with an extension cord was under the house. That's a fire hazard, right? And the seller, she didn't know. Her husband had put it in there. She was unaware of it, but it's a fire hazard. So yeah, we got to fix that, right? But something else that, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head, but something else that isn't a health and safety hazard, it's just a preference. You don't have to pay for that, right? So we go through the home inspection and we look for things that are safety hazards. We look for things that present a health and safety risk. And you got to pay for those, or you got to fix them. It's just the right thing to do. But that's going to leave a lot of the things that are on that report, null and void. So what I always do with my sellers is I give them that background, that education, let them know what's going on. Then we go through the report together. I pull out all the health and safety issues. We calculate what that would be, and then we compare it against what the buyers are asking for. Now, the thing in real estate that is just more common than ever these days is buyers will ask for non-occurring and reoccurring closing costs. And that is just language for saying, I want you to give me this much money because I got to do all these repairs. I personally do not like that. I think that it's just not fair. As I said, I mostly work with sellers. So for a buyer and seller to come together and say, yes, I'll sell you this house for this price. But then for the buyer, right before escrow closes, to come back and say, I want $15,000 in reoccurring closing costs. It bugs me. I'm going to just be honest with you. It bugs me. But you've gotten this far in the transaction. You've already put a deposit down on your new house. You've got your bags packed. You're ready to go. Let's be strategical about this. Let's apply strategy. So let's say they ask for $15,000, and there's no way in double hockey sticks you're going to give them $15,000. But we go through the report, and there's like several things that are health and safety issues, maybe something that really does need to be fixed, and it usually falls on the seller. And then we calculate that. And then we come back with a counter offer on the request for repairs. So sometimes it's half, sometimes it's less than half. It's rarely all of it. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's just rarely all of it, because usually the home inspectors go super overboard, and the buyers and the buyer's agents, and I'm the same way when I'm a buyer's agent, by the way, they want to get the best deal for their clients. But as the seller's agent, I want to save my seller the most money. So you can see how we have to be strategic, because the negotiations do not end until the transaction closes. You think the negotiations end when we come to terms with the price, what stays, what goes, that cement furniture can stay, that shed gets to stay, whatever. We do that. That's just the beginning of the negotiations. It's when we get into the request for repairs that I have seen in the last 10 years, especially the last 5 years, like post-COVID, that it's gotten to be a really big deal. And a lot of it has to do with the new laws and commissions and the way that the buyers are represented. And, it's a whole lot of things contributing. But at the end of the day, when you are selling your house, you need to prepare yourself. Even if you're not in Sacramento and you're not working with me, you need to prepare yourself, because buyers are going to be asking you for a lot of money near the close of escrow. And, hopefully I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then hooray, congratulations, good for you. but most of the time they're going to ask for repairs. And I'm just here to tell you that the repairs I would focus on would be health and safety issues. That would be my opinion. So, sometimes I have sellers who don't want to go through the whole report. I'll say, okay, it looks like they've asked for 15,000. It looks like there's about 5,000 in health and safety. And the seller will say, you know what? Let's just meet them halfway. Okay, 7,500 it is, right? So it's always up to you as the seller. It's always up to you to decide. But I try to save you as much money as humanly possible. And I know the laws and I know the way things work. So I will give you all of that information and help support you so you can make the most profit for your home. That is what I'm here for. So why not click on the link below and see my new home sellers webinar? It's free. You just put your email in and you can watch it. I think it's about an hour long. Tell you all the inside secrets you know to selling your home in Sacramento or anywhere. And I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day. There's a link also below if you want to set up a time to talk to me. Bye-bye for now.